Hello everyone, Math Fairy here, and we are going to do some math. And I just want you to know, don't worry. Can you see this? Here we go. Don't worry. Everything is going to be amazing. Yep, and if you don't think so, you just have to pretend, okay? And you have to say that to yourself over and over. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be good. Positive attitude works better. All right, here we go. You need your tiles if you want them. You need a piece of paper because we are going to be using an array and the algorithm to figure out whether these problems have remainders or not. There's no situations today, all right? It's just straight up problems. So yeah, I have a lot of problems all the time. And luckily right now I only have 2. So 28 divided by 4, what is that gonna give me? I don't know. Okay, well, in your head, you have to cloud it up. This is in your head. And you're like, what number times 4 gives me 28? I don't know. Okay, well, let's work it out with a hip array and the algorithm. So our dividend is 28. Yes? And we are dividing it by that divisor of 4 to figure out our quotient, which we don't know what it is. So one side of my array is 4. The other side I do not know. But the total amount of squares that I need in here, the area inside, is 28. I do know that. So I can set up my algorithm and go, okay, I have, that's a weird looking 2, but that's a 2. I have 28 of something that I'm dividing by the divisor of 4, and I'm getting a quotient that might be 2 digits because my dividend was 2 digits, so I could have space for 2 digits up here. All right, so we're going to start in and see what we get. All right, so question, how much is it going to be? All right, so one side, I'm not going to look at this one yet. One side is 4. I'm going to redraw it. If I go, am I going to have a number here in the tens place? Do I have, should I say that I'm going to have 10 in each group? So I have 10 tiles here, 10 tiles here, 10 tiles here, 10 tiles here, 4 times? That'll give me 40. Is that what I want? No, that's way too much. Okay, so am I gonna have a 10 right here? A number in the tens place? No, because 10 was too much. So I'm gonna X that out, say nope, I'm not. So I have to say, okay, you could keep this or you could erase. And you're like, gosh, Math Fairy, you're making me erase. Well, yeah, you don't have to erase. You can just redraw it again, all right? So now I'm in the ones place. So how many ones? How many groups here am I going to have? One group of 4? Will that give me 28? No. Okay, let's step it to, instead of 1 wasn't even close. That gave me only 4. What if I skip over to 5? Okay, because I like checking like 1, 5. We already checked 10 and that was too much. Okay, so let's jump to 5. What if we go 5? If I go 5, I'm at 5 times 4. I have 4. I have 5 showing up how many times? 4 times. With the tiles, if we want to make it, do it. That'll give me a total of 20. Okay, now I'm getting closer. So I go, okay, how about 6? 6 times 4. That'll be close, and I'm at 24. 7, how about 7 times 4? If I have a row of 7 right here, a row of 7 here, a row of 7 here, and a row of 7 here, will that give me 28? Yes, it actually works. So I have a total of 7 in each group here. And that I will put over here in my algorithm in the ones place because 7 is just 1 digit. And if I have 7 showing up 4 times, that'll give me a total of 28 tiles being used perfectly. So do I have any that are going to be left over? In this case, no. And how happy am I about that? No remainder. So my answer, my quotient, is what? It's right here. And it's right here. It is 7. Remainder, nothing. So I can just say 7. So if we want to attempt it again, we could. With this problem down here, 40 divided by 6. How are we going to start? Think of it as a multiplication problem. So I have something times 6 that gives me 40. Now that first one didn't give us a remainder, so maybe this one will. So let's try to array it. What do we know? We know one side of our array is 6. And I know the other side is, I don't know. But I know the total amount of tiles is 40. Okay, so there's my array started. Let's start the algorithm. I have 40 for my dividend. My divisor, what I'm dividing by is what? 6? And I don't know the answer yet. Although here I do know it could potentially be a 2-digit number. So now I start. And I say, okay, could I start in the tens place? Is this going to be 10? All right, I could try a 10. Well, 10 times 6, that's fun to do. That's 60. Oops, that's too much. Okay, so sad. I'm not going to have a tens. I'm not going to have any numbers in the tens. So I try something else. And I go 40, 10 times 6 was 60. That was way too much. So maybe try something like 5. 5 times 6 is 30. Now we're getting closer. So how about 6 times 6? 6 times 6 would be what? Check it out with your tiles if you need to. We're at 36. That's getting real close. Okay, so then I'm like, ooh, should I try 7? If I try 7, I'm going to be at, oh man, 42. It's too much. So I'm going to have 6 times 6, 36, with 4 tiles left over. Yeah, because 7 was too much. So for my ones place, I'm going to say how many 6s will go into 40? 6 of them. Because 6 times 6 is 36. That's 36 tiles. But will I have any left over? Yes, they're right here, hanging out, saying, hello, what about me? Yeah, you didn't make it in there. You didn't make a full group because there were 4 of you left over. So my answer here is not just going to be 6. I'm going to have to say there's a remainder of 4. And you might say, well, what do we do with that remainder? Well, in this case, we just write it as remainder 4. Because there is no situation with it. So for you guys right now, you're going to go ahead and practice this. I have 2 more you could practice with together. And then there is a Google slide where you're trying out various problems. And let's take a look at it. I'm going to make a copy here. And we have the first one has 3 problems for you to go forth and try out. Yes, we have 21 divided by 3, divided by 5, divided by 7. You could pick one to try. You could do all 3. You could use those the number frames app, and you could take a picture of what you did and copy and paste it into this Google slide to show us what you did. You can do it on paper, draw an array, use the algorithm, take a picture, insert it in here. And then I also have some other things to try out, like 10 divided by 3. Figure it out. Use the tiles. Use the array. Use an algorithm, whichever you want. And then decide, did it have a remainder? If it did, was it 1? Or was the remainder more than 1? Like, where is it going to go? Or did it have no remainder? And then if you want more of a challenge, you can come up with your own problems and say, well, my problem had, and type it in there. You're going to type in what you came up with, and then you're going to move it. Did your problem have a remainder, or did it have no remainder? And what remainder was it? Okay, so there's some practice for you. And I think if you want even more, of course, there's always more. There's Khan Academy practice on the math room. And this is just straight up type in what you think the answer is with the remainder, if there is one. Okay? All right, go forth and remember, don't worry, everything is going to be amazing. Yep, math amazing. That's it right there. Bye.